Hi, this is Mike from Printwear, and I'm here today with AJ from Heat Transfer Warehouse. Thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, how can a shop tap into retail-inspired designs on the wholesale level by using heat transfers?
Really, from the wholesale side of things, what they can do is use custom screen printed transfers. That way, when they have shirts like in a smaller boutique with a certain saying, if they have red, green, and brown shirts in the store, when the brown actually sells down, that's what they have to press. They don't have to pre-press all the colors, 100 of each. They can press certain sizes that are selling. So you're gonna have your transfers already done, and really all you have to do is press them on the shirts that are selling.
So, what are some strategies or techniques that shops can build up business in the team apparel, school spirit industry in the off-season, like say the winter time when there aren't a lot of outdoor sports going on?
I would start with networking, getting out to some of the events, show up, wear the garments that you would maybe inspire, anything with rhinestones, different things like that, glitter. Let people kind of see what else is out there. I read an article recently about up-and-coming artists, and people see what they're doing and like amazing things, and they're asking them to like donate. So really what I'm taking this from is, you want to kind of get into it, don't be afraid to throw a sponsorship. I know you can get into like football, like their programs that mention their rosters, who they're playing, are giving out season-long sponsorships for like $75 to $100. How about do that? Get your name out there that way. Don't just, they're not asking and you're not just giving it away.
Right.
You're kind of getting out there and making sure your name is out there.
Sure.
And that's really the best way, is to kind of don't be afraid to, that's advertising and sponsorship. That's so minimal. You're not talking thousands and thousands of dollars on Google AdWords. Just even in your own simple communities, set a budget of $500 and say, okay, I'm gonna only find my channels that are within my budget, and you'd be amazed to see what comes out of that.
Are there ways that you can use heat transfers to tap into the uniform and workwear market?
Yes, you can. So you can, from custom screen printed transfers that we talked about previously, if you have say you're making shirts for the local YMCA, you can pre-print transfers, have them stacked up, so you're gonna save by buying volume, and again, pressing as you needed. Or you can do cuttable heat transfer films and do a landscaping business. Say they have a 5-man crew and they each only want 3 shirts each. Well, you can do a simple left chest out of the heat transfer vinyl, and then maybe you put their nickname on the back.
Sure.
Some of those smaller crews all have nicknames, they poke fun at each other, so they're gonna like having that little personalization on the back, and really
Right.
You can only get that out of heat transfers.
Sure. And I've spoken to some places where smaller businesses like that sometimes have a pretty high turnover, so you can keep that client going pretty regularly, because they're going to need new shirts.
Exactly. And there's actually,
the
there's chemicals out there that can actually take off material off of shirts. So if that employee or the ex-employee doesn't return the shirts, it is what it is. But if they do, there is actually solutions out there that can take off vinyl off the shirt.
So they can actually recustomize the shirt.
Yeah, you can recustomize the shirt, or for some of those shirts, those type of industries, if it's landscaping or construction, maybe those shirts are better off going away anyways, and you just kind of repress for the next guy in.
Sure. So what are some basic tools shop owners should have outside of a heat press, especially like if they're just getting started?
Some other tools that they got to make sure they have, it's more on the accessory side of things. From weeders, they should have Teflon accessories, from platen covers, pillows. Pillows are coming into play big time right now when it comes to like zippers and buttons.
Okay.
The pillows are going to give you that non-stick, but also it's going to allow the buttons to kind of be pressed into the garment, so you're getting an even pressure still on actually where your transfer is getting applied.
All right.
Other tools, there's so many different like tiny little gimmicks that are out there, but another one people are liking now is any alignment systems. If it's from a laser or even just like a cardstock of just laying out your transfer and making sure it's in the same spot, that's really just going to kind of fall into place as you kind of see what you need when you press. So a lot of people, they always worry about that. And we always tell them, after you kind of press 10 shirts, you're going to kind of know what the ballpark is on something when you press it.
Right.
Heat pressing is totally different than screen printing, because screen printing is registered at every section of the print, where heat transfer stuff, you're putting a shirt on the heat press and you kind of have to eye it. You are essentially eyeing it. So that's why we see a lot more of the laser alignment systems getting purchased, because you can kind of set it, and really at that point the lasers are kind of laying out where your square is, and you just center your transfer right there. If you're doing 25 shirts, they're all going to be pretty much in the same spot.
And in essence, it sounds like that would also while it might be a big investment on the front end, in the long term, it's going to save you money because you're not going to have as many errors in the placement or the straightness of the design. And
Yeah,
things
you're
like
not
that.
going to have a customer coming back and saying, you know, my 10 shirts that I spent $75 or whatever it is, $150 on, coming back and saying my transfer is crooked on every shirt.
Sure.
You know, that's what you know, it happens. It may even happen with an alignment system, but even having the alignment system is going to reduce the times that it may happen as well. So you are going to be ahead in the end.
Okay. How can a shop determine what kind of vinyl cutter they need for their shop, like what size or style?
Well, really, when you're purchasing a vinyl cutter, there's just some things that people always worry about. You know, the price of that medium-sized cutter right now is anywhere from, $1,200 to $2,000. But when you're talking about running a business with it, you shouldn't really be afraid of that. If you know what you're getting into and you're going to be planning on cutting a lot of material, you don't have to be afraid of that. Now, on the other side of things, there are craft cutters, craft-size cutters that are 8-inch, 12-inch wide. There's people running businesses that have 15 of those in their shop because they work. Okay. But then there is like that 1 or 2 man shop. That's what they have to start with. That's what they feel comfortable starting with. And really, what they have to be, not be afraid of is, in 6 months down the road, you may have to say, all right, I need something that's bigger, better, and faster. Right. And so instead of a customer looking at it as replacing what they already have, if they have a small crafting, you got to look at it as expanding your shop now. So maybe that larger cutter is doing all your 20-inch, white and black material that you're doing names and numbers with and everything else, where your smaller craft cutter is maybe running a rhinestone software, cutting templates and all that. So you got to look at it as, again, you're expanding your shop, not so much replacing something else. Just like if you added a printer for sublimation, you're not saying, oh, I'm going to get rid of my cutter because I'm now doing dye sublimation. No, you're expanding your shop. That's what you're doing. So.
And to that end, too, would probably be the idea would be you hold on to the smaller one, you can use that one for some of those small one-off jobs. Right. And you can still maintain your larger commercial accounts with those bigger cutters.
And you never know, whatever comes down the line of, you got an opportunity to go to a volleyball tournament. Okay. It might be easier, instead of hauling around a 30-inch vinyl cutter or 48-inch vinyl cutter, you have that smaller craft cutter to go and say, all right, I at least have an option that I can literally pick up, carry, with one hand into a coliseum where a volleyball tournament's going on.
Sure. So. All right, well, thanks so much for all the advice.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you for having me.